In this video, I'll be explaining the concept of modular assets slash modular environment design in the context of game development, such as games art and level design. So, what are modular assets? In games, we create these massive worlds, buildings, interiors that look really complicated to make. You might think they must make that one building just in Blender or Maya from just like one model and it's exported out into a game engine. When that's not the case, modular assets allow you to create these sort of like these pre-designed reusable pieces that can be snapped together in order to create different variations of buildings, interiors, whatever it may be. So it helps to speed up the production time as it makes it quicker and faster for you to create an environment, and that gives you more time and focus on the aesthetic and the focus on sort of like your hero assets or your NPCs or characters where you might need to kind of spend more time and focus. The positives of using modular assets is they can be quick and easily implemented within a game engine. The downside will be is that it can be a little bit samey and a little bit repetitive. But if you think about it, if you look at the world around you, if you go into a building or you go down the street, all the buildings, a vast majority of them are going to be the same. A Terrace house on one street is going to look almost exactly the same on another street. The only kind of variations you might get is maybe on, say, like the brick colors, for instance, or it could be maybe there's some graffiti there, maybe someone kind of decorate the house slightly. You can add those sort of details onto them to kind of hide the repetitive nature of it. It's just depending how you, as an artist and a designer, add props and dressing to help kind of hide the repetitive nature of modularity. So I've got a few examples that I can kind of show you here. Just to kind of go over as well, like some of the art issues that it might come across with modularity as well is obviously, if you're making everything bespoke, i.e. unique, you're going to obviously have like multiple different sort of materials and textures. And, they might not always be sort of useful or adaptable for each different scene. So if you look at this example here, this sci-fi scene, it looks very complex, but if you break it down into different pieces, you can see that there's a lot of repetitive elements to it. So, for example, say this wall here. This is the exact same wall as the one here in the middle, and the one at the end here, and even over here as well. This pillar that kind of divides up the walls, they're both the same. There's three of them actually, so you can see how that's added in there to kind of break up that repetitive element to it. Pipes as well are another great example of modularity. You can have sort of multiple different sizes and bends of pipes that kind of add sort of variation around. Fences as well, they're reused multiple times. So you can see that a lot of assets are being reused. It's just a case of like how you as an artist or as a designer put these together in the game engine in order to add some different variations. Even in materials as well, materials are constantly reused in different ways. So with, say, trim sheets or atlases that we've used that we talked about and used in the past, we had this one trim sheet here. It has sort of various different sort of textures and materials that can be attached to this, say, one model. So you can see here, like, it's using different parts of this one material to kind of add that sort of variation into this rooftop here. So again, modularity doesn't just come from the 3D models, it can also come from the materials as well. Same with this asset here. It's just multiple different pieces that are brought in together. So I've got some video examples which I'll also provide to you students as well. But it helps kind of showcase just how useful modular assets can be. So you can see that you can kind of break them down into multiple different pieces that can be snapped together to make these really nice complex environments. So just using, for example, uh, different sort of floor pieces, different wall pieces, all be brought together to create these different environments. This building here, for instance, it looks great, but it's just pieces snapped together. You can see here that it's obviously these are the exact same sort of models, with different materials added onto them. You can have sort of different variations of, like, say, the windows as well. All these are brought together to create this model here. Again, with this as well, it's really nice environments. It can look very complicated, it can be very intimidating at first, but again, it's just pieces that are brought together to help create this model. an old colleague of mine that I used to work with, Luan, had created a great sort of like fundamentals of modularity. He used to work on Star Citizen, so he created this tutorial that shows how you can kind of use like different sort of modular pieces for walls, floors. So you can see I've got a basic wall here, a door frame, windows. Creating all these pieces together that can then be snapped together to create an environment like this. And it's also used in games a lot, not just from a designer's point of view, but also for the players as well. If anyone's played Fallout 4, for instance, since the TV series is out, so I thought it's appropriate to kind of talk about it. Um, the whole settlement stuff, when you can build your own settlements and your own vaults, for instance, all these modular pieces, the developers themselves would have used them to create the ones that you find in the game, but then also provide those tools to you as a player to snap things together to create your own unique vaults or settlements, whatever you want to create. You can actually snap things together. There was a great talk from the people at Bethesda at GDC like a few years ago, talking about the modular game design, which I will link as well. But hopefully, this kind of shows you a little bit about how modularity is very useful to you as a developer. And I'll have a few other videos as well, just kind of showing you what other things to consider when you're creating your modular assets.